Hello, and welcome to another Scottish mountain walking guide. For today's episode, I'm returning to Glenshee to complete the Cairnwell Circuit. This covers 3 Munros, the Cairnwell, Càrn Aosda and Càrn Aosda. These are 3 of the easier winter Munros to climb, but could quickly become dangerous in the wrong weather. Most of the walk follows a well-worn path, although in the winter snow it can be more difficult to follow. The total distance is 10.7 kilometres, with 664 metres of ascent. It is expected to take around 3 hours and 45 minutes to walk. Parking is at the Glenshee Ski Centre car park, and it is the highest car park of any Munro. Parking costs £5 for cars and £6 for camper vans, although it may be cheaper in the summer season. Parking is included if you buy a chairlift pass. There are no height restrictions, and there is space for around 1,200 cars. It's around 2 hours and 10 minutes drive from both Glasgow and Edinburgh. There are toilets at the ski centre, and if that's not open, the closest public toilet is in Braemar, 15 minutes drive away. Starting from the car park, you cross the road that you drove along to get to the car park, and you're going to start off heading southwest. It's a very steep incline, almost directly from the car park. You can see there's a chairlift that goes up here, and the path you're going up goes along the left hand side of that chairlift. You can see it moves a little bit further away from the chairlift at this point, but as long as you keep that chairlift on your right and make your way up the mountain, you're actually aiming for the very top of the chairlift at the end of the steep ascent. You follow the path. On the day I did the walk, it was hard to follow, so you're just basically making your way up to the left of that chairlift. The chairlift ends right at the top here, and then from there it flattens off a little bit. You turn more to your left. You can easily see where the summit is. There are a number of radio and telephone masts on the top of the summit at the Cairnwell. You make your way up to the top there. From the top of the Cairnwell, you descend back down to the top of the chairlift, and then you're following a path that goes along here. It's straighter than is shown here. There's also a fence line, and as long as you keep to the left of that fence line and walk along here, you're going to come around a little summit, so you don't go across the top of the summit, and you come around that little summit on a path and follow that path as it goes round, and there's a low point here, so you're aiming for that low point. From there you're going to turn southwest again, more westerly, and follow this. It's like the edge of a ridge line. You can see there's a steep drop down here. It's a little bit of a descent on the other side. You actually rise up a little bit and come to a top here, and you're walking along the top of this ridge. You keep following that. You're going to pass a little lock in here, and then you'll pass a second lock in. And it's when you come to that second lock in, you want to then leave the path that's straight ahead, and this is a well-worn clear path. You're going to take another fairly obvious path if it's not covered in snow, and that just bends a little to the right, and you go along the side of the lock in here, and you're just going to cut the corner here. You could go straight ahead, and some people did, and then curve round, but it is easier just to go directly across here. There is no crags here. It's showing a little bit of rockiness, but there's nothing to be concerned about. And you follow that. It's a fairly flat walk along here, heading southwest, and then you'll start to climb up. It gets a little bit steeper, just this little section here, and it bends off to the right. The summit is in the middle of a rather large flat plateau. From there you retrace your steps all the way back along until you get to that drop. This drop right here between this little top here that goes down and this one here. Again, you can see on the map there is a path that goes around, and you could choose to go straight on and not lose altitude. It's not a lot. You're dropping down about 25 metres, and then you'll come back up the other side. And there is a good path here, and it's quite clear because around it there's a lot of heather, so you can see the path. It's a properly constructed path at this point. The bit between it is not. There's not a proper constructed path here, but it starts around about here, and there's a properly constructed path that takes you up. There's a couple of paths that go off, and you can see it in the satellite here. So there's a path that goes off here. If you join the path here, you want to go to your left. Avoid this one. I actually took this path by mistake, and then I cut across here and joined back up to the right path. So you follow the path, and that takes you all the way up to the top of Càrn Aosda. Follow your steps back down to this point here, and then there's a clear path that descends down here. On the day of the walk, this bit was quite steep and covered in snow, and I actually chose to come a little bit further along and then descend down the chairlift. The chairlift was not in use, but there was an area for the chairlift, and that was just a bit easier to descend down. It wasn't as steep. And it joined back up to this path just down here, and then follow the path. You're making your way down through the ski resort at this point, so you want to keep to the path to avoid the skiers. You'll come to, there's a little ski centre building here. I'll go to the satellite image. So when you come to that building, you want to go, between the building, and there's another little structure here. There are some skiers that have come up a chairlift here, and they are skiing down this bit, so you have to keep to the side. You go around the side of this building, you're going to go down here. There's the start of a chairlift right here, so you'll have people queuing to go on that if it's in the winter time. You want to go around that, and then you'll see there's a path that goes down here. It goes down the side of a river. I actually found it easier just to go down on top of this heather section. There was also a path on the top of the heather, and then that joined back up down to here. From there, you'll just go back to the car park in front of this chairlift, and then cross the road and you're back at the car park. Good morning, it's 8:50 in the morning. I'm at the Glenshee car park, and today I'm going to walk the Cairnwell Circuit. 3 Munros, starting with the Cairnwell that's directly up there. And the start of the walk, there's this red sign. Looks like it used to say pedestrians this side. So the path goes up here and keeps to the left of the ski chairlift there. So I'm going to go up here, up to the top. This car park is at 670 metres. It's one of the highest starting points of any walk. So that makes it a nice easy day out. It's about 13 kilometres and only 600 metres of ascent across the 3 Munros. So from the car park, you see this red sign, and you turn right and go up the side of the chairlift there. A little bit of a dull start, but the weather forecast is to have sunshine for the majority of the morning. Up till about 2 o'clock. It is a fairly steep start to the walk, but as you can see, probably halfway up from the car park, maybe not quite. The path, when you can see it, it runs a bit further to the left as I'm ascending. It goes up there. But I'm just keeping to the bit without snow, and as long as I keep to the left of the chairlift, then it'll be alright. Sun's just coming over the ridge over there. Sun's cleared the cloud. If you just want to enjoy the views, you can actually take the chairlift up to this point. And you can see across the Munros. I'm going to go along that ridge there to Càrn Aosda, which is just over there. Looks like I won't need my snowshoes today. There's not enough snow in the mountain. So 40 feet to go up here to the Cairnwell, just where these towers are. So at the end of that chairlift, you just turn to your left. Should get some nice views from up there. On the return, we go all the way along the ridge to Càrn Aosda, which is just over there. And from there, it's going to be a really easy walk back down the side of the chairlift over there. Maybe it's even a ski tow, can't remember. Just go up here. At the summit of the Cairnwell, it's got kind of an odd cairn to mark the top. Yeah, a bit of an ugly summit, this one, with all these buildings. There's a little bit of light cloud coming in. Should blow over. You can hear the winds picking up a bit. So from the summit, go back down to the chairlift, or the top of the chairlift, and then follow the ridge out along there, then turn left. A lovely ridge walk all the way out to Càrn Aosda. Càrn Aosda is just there. Then return back along that ridge. To the summit of Càrn Aosda. Using this little derelict snow shelter as a windbreak, it's really nice up here. Hear the buzz of the transformer for the cell phone tower. That's very nice. Right, we're going to head on round to the next one. When you come to that ski tow, there's a little summit here, and you'll also have seen a chair, like a bench that you can sit on. When you come to this little top, you want to curve round to the left. So we're leaving that fence line that we've been walking along, going more to the left. And this is the start of the ridge. You can see the path ahead, and it cuts down in front of that lock-in. That whole white expanse is a lock-in that's frozen over. So we're going to go to the left before that. Go along here, and then just along the ridge. All the way along there. Just looking along the ridge to Càrn Aosda, it's about 2 kilometres of a walk from here, and that's looking back across to the Cairnwell. As you continue along this ridge, we're going to pass a small lock-in, and at that point, I think it's in the depression ahead, The path then bends round to the right. It'll go up onto that ridge sort of straight ahead and then bend round to the right, and that's the summit over there. There's actually two lock-ins. This is the first one. It's frozen over. We'll go up over this little ridge, around it a little bit to the left there, and then we should come to a second lock-in. After that lock-in, then it's head a little bit more to the right. Just approaching the second lock-in. So you can see there's a path that goes along to the left, but there's one there that cuts along to the right. So we want to take the one to the right and then start heading directly to the summit over there. It's nice and out of the wind here, cutting this corner. So the summit is just in some light cloud at the moment. I think that'll blow over. There was forecast to be some overcast at about lunchtime and then clear up again. So just straight ahead. At the summit of Càrn Aosda. It's cleared up nicely. That last section is a bit of a steep pull. It's not too long. You can see back across to the Cairnwell. Get a seat out of the wind, have some lunch. It's just going 11 AM. So that's only 2 hours to do those 2 Munros. Just sitting down behind the cairn, and this time I get to sit in the sunshine. It's not a bad spot for lunch. From the summit you retrace your steps back along the ridge, heading in a east direction, then slightly more north and eventually northeast. It's quite featureless on the way back. You can see the Cairnwell with the telephone masts on the top, but you want to go quite a bit to the left. I can see the edge of the ridge over there, so I'm going in that direction, cutting across here. Just got to be careful of those 2 lock-ins and not walk on them whilst they're covered in snow. And walking into the wind now, so it's pretty cold. Back at the little lock-in. So just at the end of it, you turn to the left. You've really not got any choice. There's a bit of a drop over the edge there. Then follow the ridge back round. Got my snowshoes out again. They work really well, at least when you've got snow. So just ahead, we're coming to the low point between here and that little hill ahead of us. Earlier on I came round the side there, you can see the white line on the path, and that took us to that low point. From the low point, want to head to the left, and you can just kind of make out the path going round the side of the hillside there. And it joins on, and you can see a big sweeping bending to the right and then back to the left, a big path over there. So we just want to head for that and then follow that all the way up to the summit over there. I can see a group of 4 people. They're just coming along the path there. So that continues across the snow and down directly in front of me. I just don't want to lose too much altitude, but I'm just going to go straight down here, across that snow patch, and join the path that goes along to there. Just coming to the path that takes us directly to the summit of Càrn Aosda. There's the summit up there in the blue sky. Shouldn't take very long to get there now. A little bit of ascent to go, but not too bad. Sun's come out, the wind's gone away. It's absolutely glorious at the moment. Getting quite warm, starting to overheat, so I took a couple of layers off. So the last little bit up to the top of the next Munro. I actually turned too soon to the right, so where those people are going down, where that sign is, you want to be on that path. So I'm going to cut across, I'm not going to go back down, I'll just go across the heather here and join the path. I can see it over there. Checking the map for the descent route. It's slightly further up near the end of that fence there. So those 2 guys came up here, and it's certainly less of a steep incline. So I'll see what that other bit looks like for descending. If it looks a bit too steep and slippery, I might just go down here. Whilst the toe is not in use, it's a nice easy route to follow down. This fence line is at the top of the descent route, it takes you down there, but I'm going to go down that other one. They both go to the same place down the bottom, and that's just less steep, so it'll be a bit easier to walk down. Almost at the summit. At the summit of Càrn Aosda. Just going on to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. With the sun being in cloud, it's quite dull. You can see Càrn Aosda over there from last week's walk. Tolmont and Tombuya are beyond the ridge in the cloud over there. And Cairn of Glenshee is just there in the sunlight. The Cairnwell, easily recognisable by the masts that are on top of it. Just looking along the ridge there to the second row of today, Càrn Aosda. Just looking towards Braemar. The descent, just head west, retrace your footsteps down to the top of the ski chairlift thing, may have been a toe, and then head south and just follow that back down to the ski centre. It's nice that the sun's come back out. It's amazing how cold it gets when it's in the cloud. The normal descent route would be down the side of this fence. It's a little bit steeper than the path that comes up by the chairlift there, or the ski toe. I think it's actually a ski toe. So I'm going to go down the ski toe. I saw those two guys come up that way, so there should be footsteps, and I don't even think I'll need to put my crampons on. Shouldn't be that bad going down there. So I'm at the top of this ski toe. I'm going to head south and just go right down to the car park. I may well put my crampons on. I've slipped twice on the way down. We'll see. They're usually more hassle than they're worth in this kind of terrain. Steeper path that I didn't take just comes down here and crosses over, so I might as well just go and follow the path from here down. As you're coming down towards this ski centre building, we want to go round to the right of it and beyond the chairlifts, and then down and again keeping to the right of the buildings at the bottom, so the path goes down there somewhere. Hopefully it'll be more obvious once I get closer. Can't tell from here. You don't want to be going up and down the ski slopes or the chairlifts or ski toes when they're in operation. You do share some of the slope with the snowboarders. Want to go down here and round by that green shed, so it's down that way. After passing that little hut at the end of the ski toe, you go down the side of this river here. I might stick to the higher heather because it won't be as wet and boggy as down there, but you basically follow this channel down to the car park. If you made it to this point, thank you for watching. Another glorious day in the Scottish mountains. Look forward to showing you more next week, and bye for now.